Flosstube. My name is Becca, and I'm SamBrie Stitches here on Flosstube and Instagram. And this is another episode of Interview with a Flosstuber, and I have a special guest today. I'm here with Melanie, and her Flosstube channel is Melanie Watkins. And I am a newer subscriber to her channel on Instagram, and I immediately went over and subscribed and watched her videos. And she has some very, very beautiful projects that she's working on and changing it up a little bit on her projects as well. So I'll definitely be putting a link down below. Just saying, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm really excited about the interview. I was pumped all day, got a new haircut especially for it.
Looking good, looking good. All right.
So I'm doing great.
All right, well, let's jump into some of the questions.
Okay.
The first one is, why did you start a Flosstube, and were there any particular motivations?
Well, see, I am one of the original ones from like back in 2013, 2014, that started a Flosstube. You won't see any of those older videos now because I deleted my old channel and started a new one. I was just in a different phase of my life, and I just wanted to start over with my Flosstube. But anyway, to answer the question, I wanted to bring, color, to the Flosstube world. Being an older adult at that particular time, having, older sons and different things, I just wanted to bring some type of flavor to Flosstube, you could say, everybody was starting out. I mean, what's her name? Katie. I forget her name. The Stash Queen, Katie the Stash Queen. When she first came out, I mean, she was awesome, but she had little kids. So I just kind of wanted just to jump in, show some flavor, just, show some of my different whips, and also help boost the Flosstube community.
Nice. Well, I enjoy your channel. I'm sure many do, and I'm glad that
Thank you.
You're making them and restarted making them. I didn't know that you originally had a different channel.
Yeah, I did. I originally had one. I did.
What was the channel name? Just so in case people knew. Do you remember? Just in case people watched you before.
I think it might have been the Soulful Stitcher. I can't remember.
That's your Instagram.
Time ago. Yeah, I can't remember.
Okay, cool. So the next question is a subscriber question, and they were just wondering if you had a blog.
I do not. Blogs, well, you know what? I'm going to use the same answer that Georgia Girl used. That Instagram is kind of like my blog because it's easy. You just post a picture and go. But for me to be able to sit at the computer and type out daily events about my life, about my stitching, girl, no, I don't have time for that.
I'm right there with you. There's a lot of time.
Oh my goodness. And plus I'm kind of like up and down. So I would be all gung-ho in the beginning, and then it would taper off, and that wouldn't be fair. They get people excited about a blog, and they get a chunk one month, and next month it's quiet, so I just don't even start something that I can't really finish.
Nice.
Well, that's a lie, because I got all these whips sitting up here.
We all do. That's okay. That's not a problem. So how did you learn to stitch, and how long have you been stitching?
So I learned to stitch from a friend of mine at church back when my oldest son was 4 years old, and he's 23. Okay. So I've been stitching for a really long time, but I would say that my stitching improved, and it became consistent probably about 2013, 2014.
Okay. Yeah. I think stitching improves drastically.
Yeah.
Even looking back a couple of years from my finishing to.
That's right.
That's right.
and I, honestly, you can say that we improve pretty much every single day that we do it. I mean, you watch somebody's Flosstube, girl, you can learn something new every day and 100%. Implement it.
Yep, 100%.
But I just remember I stitched on Ada. I love Ada. But on my birthday, back in 2014, I took a piece of even weave or linen to my local needle workshop. And I said, Susan, which is a stitching time in Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay.
I said, Susan, for my birthday, can you do one thing? Teach me how to stitch on linen. It was so freaking easy. I was like, are you serious that I drove all this way to learn?
That's so funny.
But
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that though, because I have too much Ada. So I don't even want to hear that.
But I mean, the Ada that has come out recently is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm thinking about subscribing to Brandy if it's open, just for the way that her Ada looks. I mean, the Ada community is amazing. You know, I'm definitely not an Ada hater at all.
Well, that's good. Yeah, if you subscribe, I'm addicted to Brandy's fabrics. They're just gorgeous, and just,
they are. You show some awesome stuff.
Yeah, there's many companies that have changed the way that people view Ada. Which makes me happy, so.
And I love it.
So what is your favorite project that you've stitched so far?
You know what? I don't have a favorite one, but I will show you. Where are you, big baby? Let me see. This is one that I've been working on for a long time, and I really need to get it finished. But it kind of the desire kind of comes in waves.
Yep.
And it is Sky Blue Street by Soda Stitch.
That's pretty.
And so I've been stitching on this probably for about 3 or 4 years, and it's quite sad because I've got a lot done. So here is where I'm at on it. And this is one of my favorite ones once I get the desire to stitch on it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is pretty.
Yeah.
Now,
the only thing I don't like is the simple fact that I stitched it on white linen, because it does look a little worn.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, but I think I'm going to go ahead and go back and stitch it, but I'm going to stitch it back on like a sky blue, you know.
That would be really pretty. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep. So that would be one of my favorite ones when I get the desire to stitch on it.
Yeah, I guess it's whatever whip calls to you, you know, when you get the desire on it. That tends to be the favorite at the time. So
That's right.
So what do you enjoy most about stitching?
It's just the simple fact that you are actually taking a needle and thread and creating one of the most beautiful pictures that you can create.
Yep.
You know, it's even gotten to the point that you could really say the chart is just a foundation, because 9 times out of 10, we're going to take that and we're going to modify it. We're going to make some adjustments, and it's going to speak to the person that we are, the stitcher that we are. Along with the fact that it's relaxing. I'm pretty blessed in the sense of I'm a retired person, semi-retired person. I have all of the perks of a retired person, except for the fact that I still have to work. But I don't have any little kids living at home, and so I can get up and stitch at 3 o'clock in the morning if I wanted to. You know, it's just so much flexibility with stitching. It's all about you as the stitcher, you know?
Yep, I love that too. You can personalize. You can take it everywhere with you. It's just such an amazing hobby.
Yes.
And a lot of them end up looking like paintings too. Like
that's right.
Just floss to turn into. Yeah, love it.
Yeah,
love it.
Yes. I mean, seriously, it times have changed so much that the chart is literally just a foundation, but the end piece is going to speak to who the stitcher is. You know, I mean, because we change up things so much.
Yep, that is so
even the finishing tactics, all of that. You know, flat folds, pillows, you know, quilts. I mean, whatever the person wants to do, it's going to speak to them. Yeah,
definitely unique. Times have changed from just
yes, they have a lot.
Yeah, I love that. That's a good way to look at it. I don't think anybody's ever really, you know, said it that way. So love it. Love it. So what is your favorite genre of book or movie?
My favorite genre of book and movie and TV show is historical fiction. I am a King Henry VIII buff. I love King Henry VIII, the era, all of that. So I'm currently reading a series of books by C.J. Sansom, and it's about a hunchback lawyer by the name of Matthew Shardlake, and he does a lot of detective work and solving mysteries and murders in that era. So
that tends to be a pretty popular answer, that genre. That's
yeah, I love historical fiction, especially if it has anything to do with the British history.
Interesting. Well, that leads into, what fictional place would you most like to go?
Oh, the UK, definitely. If I could move anywhere, though, it would be Scotland.
Okay.
It would be Scotland. Yeah.
That would be amazing. Yeah. I just want to visit.
Yeah, right? I have a couple friends that are Scottish stitchers.
Oh, okay. Oh, you'll have to, do they have Instagram or Flosstube? You'll have to message me.
Okay, I will do that.
I'd love to.
I don't think they have Flosstube, but I do believe they have Instagram.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'd love to follow them. So if you could choose to do anything for a day, what would it be?
Be a librarian. I went to school for library science. I got my master's and bachelor's degree in library science, and then library science and media, because, of course, the culture of books is changing electronically. But one thing I did not realize when I was getting my degree is that librarians don't leave their positions. They either, retire out, or some pass away. But the ones who retire out, they already have someone lined up to take their place.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I got a degree that unfortunately I'm not using, which kind of sucks when you think about the loans and stuff. So for a day, I would just love to work in a library.
Use your degree that you worked so
hard to earn. Yeah. Absolutely. Yes.
I didn't know that it worked like that. That's a tough job to get into then.
Yes. Wow. And my academic advisor, my career service advisor, nobody told me that, which, I don't want to place blame on them, because it's also my responsibility to research that too, Yeah. But I just wish somebody who had a little more knowledge of had been like, you do realize that this is going to be a tough field to try to break into. And I did go on a job interview here for my local library. The only difference between me and the other candidate was at the time she had her master's degree and I was still studying for mine.
Oh, then you would have been in.
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry, I just shook the camera. Yep.
That's all right. So do you have any other hobbies besides cross stitch?
I do. I am a big reader. And then also I'm a happy planner too, but with the disc-bound system, but I'm starting to get out of that, but I'll talk more about that on my Flosstube. So reading and cross stitch are my number one hobbies. Neither one of them are better than the other. They're neck to neck. If I'm not cross stitching, then I've got a book in my hand.
Nice.
Yep.
Reading is, this is going to be a silly question, but do you actually read real books, or do you do electronic?
Yes. Well, I do both.
Okay.
I have to have the real thing in my hand.
Yep,
I have to.
Yep.
However, my wife gets up on certain days of the week and she has to be to work at 4:00 in the morning. So I use my iPad to read at nighttime because I can dim the light and it's not disturbing her, and I can still read. Okay. But when it comes down to choice, it has to be the real thing. It has to be the real thing.
Yeah, me too. There's just something about just having that book. Yeah.
Right.
So how would your friends describe you?
Girl, I reached out to them. I got intense, I got loyal, and I got honest, and I got a hot mess. Those were the 4 answers that I got.
I mean, those are good answers, and they're honest.
Absolutely, absolutely. I was a little bit afraid to ask that question, but it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, I've had a couple of people say, "Oh, I can't say what some of the responses were." So
Yeah.
kind of funny.
My one friend was like, "Oh my gosh, are you tense? You are so tense." Like, she's like, "Sometimes I just want to dump a cup of chamomile, or however you say it, the tea, chamomile,
Yeah.
all over you just to get you to settle down." I was like, "Wow, thank you."
Wow. Maybe this was a little eye-opening kind of question for people to ask.
Right? That just led right into it. I was like, "Well, tell me how you really feel."
Yeah, sure. So, how do you prefer to stitch? Do you do like in hand, Q-snap, that kind of stuff?
Yes, I prefer to stitch in hand, but I spent so much money on the roller frame system, and it's just sitting in my closet. But I want to, I need to start using it because I definitely don't want to give it away. But I'm going to be working on some big pieces that I can actually use it. It's a great system. But once I purchased it, then I learned how to stitch in hand, and stitching in hand is awesome. I don't do the sewing method, which I want to learn. But stitching in hand is my preferred go-to.
Yeah, I wish that I could stitch in hand because I think that would make it so much easier to have, change between whips and all that kind of stuff. And portability, I don't need a big giant bag.
Yes.
Nope, I have to have my Q-snap.
But in all honesty, I do use stitch in hand's preferred go-to. Hoop would be the next one, and then my roller frame system. And there's 2 projects that I'm working on that for some reason, the way that the fabric is, I can't work on it in my hand. I have to actually put it in a hoop.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it does, tend to matter if it's like a floppier fabric or
Right.
or something. Yeah,
right.
sure.
Right.
Speaking of fabric, do you have a preferred type that you kind of steer towards, or are you just more of a whatever?
Just all linen. Listen, I'm not one of those bougie type of linen people. I'll stitch on Michael linen, AC Moore's, Hobby Lobby, you name it, I'll use it.
Hey.
And I will treat it like it was gold, honey.
Yeah. And fabric is fabric, so.
Right. But I'm about to break back into the Ada world, though, because I'm looking at who has the best subscription. And from what I can see, Brandy's prices with the amount of fabric that you get, she's the only one for me personally right now that's at the top of the chain. Yeah. But I definitely want to get some Ada stored up, this new Ada that's breaking the market.
Yeah, you're gonna love it. You're gonna welcome to the new rabbit hole, because
18 count
linen and,
that's right,
and all that too. But yeah,
that's right.
You're gonna love it.
Yeah, my craft room is overflowing with Ada. I mean, linen. If I don't buy any more linen, I totally would be fine. So I have a color and cotton subscription right now for fabric, but once that ends, then I'm going to go over to Bestitchme and start a fabric subscription with her. Nice. Yep.
I have overflowing Ada as well. That's why I said I'll.
Yeah, I mean it's. Yeah. Yes.
So, where is your favorite place that you've traveled, and did you bring stitching along when you went?
My favorite place is Puerto Rico. I actually lived there for a while for work. I did not bring any stitching with me because I was still kind of new to it, but that is where I actually started buying the Crossstitch, the magazines from overseas, because at that particular time, Books A Million and Barnes and Noble was selling the UK magazines in their store, and I started buying them while I was there.
Oh, nice. So you built up a pretty good collection then.
Yeah, I do. Girl, listen, C-Zook, Carolyn Zook,
oh yeah,
which is a good friend of mine. we are thinking about, or not even thinking about, we are actually going to do a year of magazine sales in 2021. Trust me, I'm more than prepared.
That is actually pretty cool, because then people can see patterns from, you know, past magazines that, you know, most of us can't get hold of.
Yes, and I'm really looking forward and getting back acquainted with them, because they're just sitting there right now, you know. So you know, this is the thing. I know that I need to do Stitch from Stash, but dude, I'm just like the little squirrel that you guys talk about, or that we all talk about. Yeah, I'm going to do Stitch from Stash. I'm so tough. I got it down packed. Squirrel, you know, like as soon as a Flosstuber shows something new, I'm like on it.
Well, and that's the thing, like, because I was even considering Stitch from Stash, but then I could never do it. One, market, you know, and then whatever you have to have. And now you have to buy the pattern when you like see it, because who knows, if it's go out of print, and then I can print years from now. So
that's right. Yep, you might as well get it while you can get it, because you know, stuff is famous for going out of print. Like, you know.
Yep. So yeah, that's why I'm buying everything else. There ain't no.
Yeah, that's right. Buy all the things and worry about it later.
So speaking of buying stuff, what can you not do without for your stitching, other than the basics, you know, like a go-to tool or
scissors. I have a ridiculous amount of scissors, and it's because I like to you know, change them up every now and then. Stitch using one for a couple weeks, then I need to, if my scissors collection gets stale, I get a little bummed and I have to start looking for more scissors. There was a lady, Chelsea, and I don't remember her last name. I'm not sure if it's Burns or Bums. I can't remember. Sorry, Chelsea. And she just opened a shop in Canada with a ridiculous amount of scissors, and I wanted to order them, but the cost of the scissors and the shipping was kind of exorbitant. And then, you know, I could get those same ones here at a less cost, you know. But I like to definitely, you know, support the stitching community, but I also have to be wise with the money that I spend. You know,
shipping charges are a lot right now.
Exorbitant. Yes, they can be exact. I mean, girl, it's ridiculous. I was watching a YouTuber this morning, a Flosstuber this morning, and she lives in Canada, and she was just saying one chart to come from the US could either range from $18 or $50 in shipping charges. Ooh. I was like, that's crazy. I wouldn't be buying it.
No.
No, ma'am.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I know there's needle minders that I want that, I don't know if they're in the UK. I can't remember where, but the shipping cost, it just, as bad as I want them, I can't justify.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So the next question is, how do you decide on what you're going to work on next?
I actually have a bin. I'll go through on some, like Jolly July, this is now. So I already picked out 4 projects, and what I just did was worked on a project a week. But generally what I go through when there's no type of special event or anything, I'll just sit down on a Sunday and kind of come up with a couple projects that I wanted to switch in and out during the week. And then I have a bin that is my current working on bin. You might as well say current whip bin. And I just carry that around the house with me wherever I'm going to stitch.
So you're a nomad stitcher. That's like my friend Amy. She moves to like different.
Yeah. That's right. Office, bedroom, you know, it doesn't matter. Out front.
It works. So the last question is my favorite. And it is, what's the best thing that has happened to you so far this year?
My son, and the progress that he is making in his personal life has been amazing. this kid that you're looking at right here, and the look on his face is a look of determination.
I was going to say determination. Yep.
And don't kill me for sharing this story, Daze. You know, growing up, he really had a complex. He was really unsure of himself, low confidence. When we moved here to Florida, I mean, we came from Virginia to Florida, and let me tell you, that was just like a whole different world. The things that they do here, we didn't do back home. We didn't know anything. So him being in high school, having to break that mold, fit in. I mean, I literally didn't understand what it was like for a high school child until I watched my own. So I would say, looking back at this guy compared to the guy that I see now, in the amount of progress, it's just overwhelming, and it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. And it'll be up to him to share his story. You know, he went from, I will tell you, just to give you an example, he had crushed his knee while he was in college. He played football for college, and he crushed his knee. I'm here. He's in Iowa. I wake up to about 13 missed phone calls. It's snow, it's ice up there, and he literally had to trek from his dorm to the building in crutches because he absolutely would not use that as an excuse to not go to class and do the things that need to be done. And one day he was coming back and he slipped and fell, and he literally had to lay there until somebody drove by and helped him up. So his story is absolutely amazing. It's amazing, but you know, he'll share that. He'll share that one day. But when I look at him now, Becca, I'm telling you, I'm a believer in Jesus, and I know that the stuff that he went through wasn't for nothing, and it prepared him for the man that he is now. You know, so
yeah,
it's just,
you're exuding proud.
Yes.
You're exuding proud right now, and you have
that's
every
right. Yeah. And I talk about him on my Flosstube, and so many people are just like, he's amazing and this and that, and I appreciate every single one of them. But my thought is, if you think he's amazing through my words, wait until you meet him, if you ever do. You know.
Yeah, I hope we do. You should see if he would Zoom like
I only
this,
get to see him once a year, which is at Christmas time. So maybe this year I'll do a Flosstube and throw him up in there, catch him off guard or something.
He sounds absolutely amazing. I'm sure.
Yeah. But I'm gonna tell you, you know, when he did, I mean, it's just amazing because, you know, having to be up there the wintertime, the crutches, the pain, this and that, and having to go up steps to get to his dorm room, having to walk, but the fact that he didn't give up, and having to sit in that dorm room by himself because he didn't have a roommate or anybody he could vent to or talk to, you know, it was just nothing to work. It was the work of God that, you know, and it was just good how God showed up in his life. So it's good. He's doing amazing. He just opened his own business with, a guy that he went to college with, and so they just opened their own business. So I'm really proud of him. He is the president of the National Black Accounting Association. He's going to school for accounting, and then he is getting his internship through a prestigious firm down in Tampa. So I'm proud of him.
That saying, everything happens for a reason. That's 100% true for this situation.
And then it all goes back to me being a young mom at the age of 21, having him, you know, and going through that and making sure that even though I was young, that I instilled morals and principles in them. You know, I have 2 children that, you know, is kind of struggling, you know, their way through life, but that's okay. You know, they'll come around too. But, you know, being that young mom, because a lot of people say, oh, you know, Melanie, it says a lot about you. And I appreciate that. However, he as a man has to be the one to get up every single morning and decide to do the right thing. And that doesn't have anything to do with me, you know?
Well, you raised him to become that man. So you did play a big part in it. But it instilled such good behaviors
Yeah,
for him.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I think you played a big
yeah,
part in it being his mom.
yeah.
So
So 2020 has been a tough year for all of us. I mean, all of us.
yeah,
But I just tried to live through him, you know, in the sense of try to find my way, my happy days through him, or if something exciting happens for my wife, you know, because
yeah,
I work from home, so nothing really exciting's happening too much with me,
yeah,
but she's out in the world, he's out in the world. So if something happens great for her, that makes me feel good, you know. If something great happens for him, that makes me feel good, you know. But she even went through her own trial and came out on the other side, you know, so that was a big victory too. So
yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
that's amazing. I'm glad. I know 2020 has been rough for a lot of people, so that's why I like to ask this
2020,
question.
girl,
I know
listen,
it's a big dumpster
listen,
fire, but that's why I like to ask
Leslie,
the question, just so
yes,
that we can have some
Leslie,
positivity.
Leslie Hurley, the another floss tuber, and I don't know what her floss tube channel is. Sorry, Leslie, but she said it the best. That, you know, she says she don't want to put 2020 on a dang, not one of her stitches. Like,
Yep,
you know, let's get on to 2021. You know,
yep,
absolutely,
yep.
none on
Time
mine.
to move on.
She said, I don't want to put it on not one of my stitchings. And I said, I'm right there with you, girl.
100%. Well, that was the end of the interview. So I
Thank you.
appreciate you taking the time out. I know we had to
Thank
move
you.
this, and I appreciate you just being open and willing to, kind of move the interview a week.
Oh, shoot. Not a problem whatsoever.
I
Girl,
appreciate
I was probably tired anyway.
Aren't we all?
So it was okay.
Yeah. Well, thank you, and we're gonna say
You are
bye to
welcome.
Flosstube.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Have a great day.